are the 10 best players ever to play for Arsenal Football Club? Tough, innit? Here's my 10. At number 10, I'm going to go for a player that's playing right now for Arsenal. It's going to be controversial because I know we're going to get a lot of old school fans saying, how could you put him in there and not have him and not... But that's the whole point of these videos. At number 10, there's 2 players I was thinking of, but I'm going to go for this one. Mesut Özil. All right, I know he had a bit of a slow start for Arsenal, but once he's hit his stride, what an unbelievable player. I will pay my money every week to go and watch this guy. He's skillful, he scores goals. I have never seen a player as good as Mesut Özil as carrying out assists. Spotting a player from miles away and just going bang and laying it right on a plate. If Mesut Özil had been playing in the days of the Invincibles, I think Thierry Henry would have scored even more goals. At number 10, superstar, brilliant player, Mesut Özil. At number 9, this guy was awesome. If you've never seen him play, get on YouTube, search for him, look how good he was. Brady, he's still part of the club to this day. He was a legend. Ahead of his time. His control of the ball, his passing, just everything about the guy. He was just a complete midfielder. As I said, if you're one of the younger ones watching this and you've never seen a guy play, go and see him play. The old school fans, you'll remember him fondly. Brady went on to play for Juventus after Arsenal. What a legend at number 9. At number 8, Robert Pirès. What a player. His link-up play with Thierry Henry was awesome. He scored endless amount of goals, assists, his dribbling. I just think simply that he's one of the best players of the modern era in the Premier League. He was just that good. And I remember the time when he got his injury and he was out for ages, and we so missed him because he was just such a brilliant player. Robert Pirès, number 8, fantastic. At number 7, Bastin. Bit before my time. He made his debut for Arsenal in 1928-29 season, so bit before my time. But what an awesome player he was. When I read up about this guy, he was just a goal-scoring machine. Up until 1997, when Ian Wright broke his record, he was the all-time leading goal scorer for Arsenal. What a player, what a legend. To hold that record for that long, just shows you just how good he must have been as a player. Bastin, legend of Arsenal Football Club, at number 7. At number 6, this guy, leadership, something that we lack nowadays. And just no nonsense, solid defender, Tony Adams. What a fantastic player, captain of his club at a young age and stayed there for years and years, played for England. He was just Arsenal through and through. And you know what, when we first used to see him play, we used to think to ourselves, he's not the most gifted player in the world, he's not the most talented player, but you know what he had? He just had that football brain, he had his positional sense. He was just the best defender, central defender that I've ever seen put on an Arsenal shirt. Tony Adams. And number 5, Patrick Vieira. Simply awesome in midfield. What would we do to have that guy right now? I mean, we've never effectively been able to replace him since he's left this club. I mean, he was just a rocking midfield, but he was more than a holding midfielder in that, yes, he was a rock there and that you couldn't get past him. He put the tackles in. He was aggressive. I mean, we remember all the tussles he had with Roy Keane, but he also offered lots going forward. He was a leader on the pitch. He was just a complete midfielder that money just can't buy these days. Patrick Vieira, number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go for a goalkeeper, David Seaman. What an awesome goalkeeper he was. Arsenal legend. I still remember that save he made against Sheffield Wednesday, where I'm still trying to work out how he saved it, but he was just consistent. I mean, we never replaced him up until recently when we got Petr Cech, but since Seaman, all right, Jens Lehmann was okay, but Seaman was just another level. Number 4, Arsenal legendary goalkeeper, invincible, David Seaman. At number 3, I'm going for Ian Wright. What a player. As I said earlier, he broke Cliff Bastin's record, goal scoring record. His enthusiasm, his pace, his eye for a goal, his skill, just everything about the guy. And to this day, he's still an Arsenal legend. If you talk to him, you know, he just loves talking about Arsenal. He's just an Arsenal legend through and through, goal scorer, England player. He just did it all. One of my favourite all-time players at Arsenal. Number 3, Ian Wright. Number 2, it kind of leaves 2 here. Ian Wright was number 3, so it leaves 2 here. I'm balancing them. You know who they are. Bergkamp here, Thierry Henry here. I'm balancing them. Number 2, Dennis Bergkamp. And that's my opinion. I know there's going to be people who disagree with me, but what a player. Again, a bit like what I said about Mesut Özil earlier. You pay your money to watch this guy all day long. He just done everything in slow motion. It's like he had a remote and he just slowed everything down to his pace. And said, right, everyone's jogging, sprinting around, and he just went, check. He just did it how he wanted to do it. The goal he scored at Newcastle, his skills, his touch, simply ahead of his time as a player, simply unbelievable, invincible player. What more can I say? Dennis Bergkamp, one of the greatest players of all time in the Premier League, let alone Arsenal, at number 2. Number 1, Thierry Henry. Legend at the club. What can I say? He did everything. He broke the goal scoring record here. The style of football that he brought to Arsenal, his skills, his passing, but the most important thing, the goals that he scored and the way he scored it. He epitomised sexy football. To this day, you know, he's still, for me, the best Premier League striker of all time. Tell me one that's better. All right, you can argue people like Alan Shearer and that, but for me, Thierry Henry was the best. Simply the best, not just Arsenal player of all time, but Premier League striker of all time. He won it all. He led us as the Invincibles. He spearheaded that. And I'll always remember that goal he scored against Tottenham when he slid down in front of them. For that alone, he would have got number 1. Number 1, Thierry Henry. So what do you guys think? I know there's going to be people disagreeing with me. You know what, it was so hard to do this. Players I've had to leave out. I've had to leave out David Rocastle. I've had to leave out Freddie Ljungberg. Alexis Sanchez could get a shout in there. What's your top 10? Leave it in the comments below. We're going to give away a prize to the person who leaves their best top 10 players of all time. Yeah, right.
Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV.
Listen, we've had some great players at Arsenal Football Club. None more great than this man right here, Thierry Henry. What a great player he was. And that's why he's got a statue here at Arsenal Football Club. However, we've had some terrible players here also.